Hello, my name is Fox and you're watching Den of Fools. Let's jump right in. In week 32 of 2024 we had 120 tournaments, with a total of 2,695 players and 10,833 games played. First of all, our apologies for the delay in getting the update to you this week. I have been on holiday. As the stats are quite late, I will cover them reasonably quickly this time out. With that said, we do have a lot of data this week, with the Space Marines topping the charts with 20 wins and 68 top 3 placings. Their weighted base of 18.6 is a lot better than the 40.9 they got last week. With more tournaments, there are more opportunities, and the 7 more wins have significantly improved their weighted placing. Carl get a very impressive result for them with 11 wins, 24 top 3s, and a weight risk of 9, which is the third best overall. It'll be interesting to see if they can continue the strong performance, and there are a few less tournaments being played. The Tyranids also get 11 wins, with 19 top 3s and a weight risk of 10.1. This is a very good result for them, although they don't get any wins at the larger tournaments. The Worldies and Eldari are the last in blue, both with 7 wins. They get 23 and 18 top 3s respectively, with weighted places of 11.9 and 11.1. The Necrons top the green group with 6 wins, 22 top 3s, and a weight basic of 20.8. Sisters also get 6 wins, with 16 top 3s and a weight basic of 15.3. The GCs again get 6 wins, with 10 top 3s and a very impressive weighted placing of 4.7, which is the best this week. Due to their small player base, they do get low weighted placings, but a win for just under every 5 players is a very good result. The Drukhari are the final faction with 6 wins, they get 9 top 3s and a weight base of 8.8, which is the second best overall. Like the Gene Sealers, they don't have a huge amount of players, so can get low weighted placings. They do have a significant amount more than the Gene Sealers, who have the same number of wins, nearly half the weighted placing. Chaos Space Marines and Custodians both get 5 wins, with weighted places of 22.6 and 16. The remaining 3 factions in green all get 4 wins, being ranked by the number of top 3 placings. Imperial Knights get 13 top 3s and a weight placing of 22.3, with Orcs getting 9 top 3s and a weight placing of 20.8. The Legion of Votan are the last faction in green, with 8 top 3s and a weight placing of 18. We have 7 factions in yellow who all get between 3 and 1 wins. Due to the lower number of wins, the factions have higher weighted placings other than the unknown faction, as we only recorded 24 players out of 2,695 as unknown this week. 23 factions manage at least 1 top 10 placing, with the Space Marines getting the most top 10s with 212. The Tyranids are in second with 68 top 10 placings, with Necrons in third on 67 top 10 placings. The rest of the pack are very close behind, with God getting 66 this week. Unsurprisingly, the Space Marines are the most played faction with 18.33% of all players taking them. Tyranids are the second most popular on 6.16%. Chaos Space Marines and Necrons are in third on 5.49%. It takes our resident stats guru and Ultramarine fanboy Fearless Fox many hours to collect all the data. It would be great if you could show your appreciation by liking and sharing the video. It really helps us with the God algorithm of YouTube. We have grouped the win rates by colour, with the key at the bottom of the screen. This week the Thousand Suns are back at the top, with a win rate of 55.8%. They did do a fair bit worse last week, but are back to their usual position. The World Eaters are the first faction in the Goldilocks zone, with a win rate of 51.8%. The Guard have a win rate of 51.3%, to back up their good performance in terms of placings this week. The Eldari are the last known faction in green, with a win rate of 50.6%. The majority of factions are in yellow this week, with a lot dropping out of green. The Sisters just miss out with 49.9%, followed by Admech on 49.8%. Space Marines overall get an impressive 49.3%. Stay tuned till later on in the video, where we will cover the win rate for the chapters. The Necrons get a win rate of 49.2%, with last week's winners, the Death Guard, on 48.9%. Chaos Demons and the Legion of Votan are on 48.2%, with the G-Stealers on 48.1%, despite their impressive weighted placing. The Grey Knights are on a win rate of 48%, with Imperial Knights on 47.8%. The Drukhari get a win rate of 47.5%, with the Tyranids close behind on 47.4%. Chaos Knights get a win rate of 46.8%. The Custodians are the last faction in the Goldilocks zone, with a win rate of 45.2%. This week there are only 3 factions below the Goldilocks zone, with the Tower just missing out on a win rate of 44.9%. The Orcs are a fair bit lower on 40.6%, with Chaos Space Marines still at the bottom, with a win rate of 40.4%. The Thousand Suns remain at the top of the running total win rates with 55%, putting them just in the Goldilocks zone. They are a fair bit ahead of the rest, with the Drukhari coming next on 53.1%. The Imperial Knights just remain in third with 52.4%, with the Sisters close behind on 52.2%. The World Eaters have a win rate of 52.1%, with Chaos Demons just getting in green on 50.1%. The majority of factions are in yellow, with 2 full factions below the Goldilocks zone. After a few rough weeks, the Orcs have dropped below with a win rate of 44.6%. Chaos Space Marines are still below the zone with a win rate of 43.4%. Overall, the game is quite well balanced at the moment, despite some clear strongest and weakest factions. We now know that the Imperial Agents Codex will see play around the start of September, with the Blood Angel supplement not too far behind. We'll have to wait and see how these change the meta, but it's relatively balanced at the moment. This week the Deathwatch topped the charts with a win rate of 54.3%. The few players who took them this week have performed admirably in the last few weeks of their index. The Space Wolves are just behind with 54%, followed by the Blood Angels on 53.2%. The Black Templars are the last faction in green, with a win rate of 50.3%. The Dark Angel are the last chapter in the Goldilocks zone, with a win rate of 48.5%. The Divergent chapters are putting in nearly all of the good performances for Space Marines at the moment, with the Unknown Codex chapters only managing a win rate of 40.7%. It'd be interesting to see what happens to the Blood Angels win rate when their supplement drops. If the Death Company lose a lot of their options, for example, I would imagine it will negatively impact their win rate. The Blood Angels are still in front with a win rate of 52.7%. The Space Wolves remain in second place with a win rate of 51.9%. The Black Templars are the first chapter in yellow with a win rate of 49.7%. The Dark Angels come next with a win rate of 46.5%. The Deathwatch just miss out on the Goldilocks zone with a win rate of 44.9%. A few Ultramarine players are struggling on 34.1%. Overall, Chaos Space Marines are on a win rate of 43.4%, with a very limited number of people playing Index Emperor's Children on a win rate of 41.2%. I'm sure Chaos Space Marines players will be happy when the next update comes around, and they hopefully get a few buffs. If you enjoyed our content, please subscribe, check out one of the videos on screen, and consider using our affiliate links in the description. Thank you for watching.